So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we have a to regular session. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Mr. Conwell.
Aye.
Ms. Eckhart.
Aye.
Mr. Gaines.
Staff is requesting approval of the certification closed meeting resolution 21-44.
I move to approve resolution 21-44. I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 21-44. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Mr. Conwell.
Aye.
Ms. Eckhart. Mr. King.
Staff is also requesting approval of the agenda with one amended item. We will delete item F, consideration of the special use permit for Fountain Creek Solar Project.
I move we approve the agenda as amended. I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve amended agenda. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Mr. Conwell.
Aye.
Ms. Eckhart. Mr. King.
Staff is also requesting approval of the consent agenda. It consists of the minutes of the September 8th meeting, the minutes of the September 21st meeting, budgetary matters, warrants, and resolution 21-52 personnel matters resulting from closed session.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented. I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve consent agenda as presented. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Mr. Conwell.
Aye.
Ms. Eckhart. Mr. King.
There are no public hearings scheduled for this evening, and there are no items with appointments. The next item is citizens' comments. Anyone wishing to speak to the Board of Supervisors, please come forward and state your name and address. If there is no one, we'll move on to other matters. Under other matters tonight, item A is the HGAC buy contract. Mr. Owens.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The HTAC buy is a purchasing group that we can use to assist us in the procurement of large items. And in this particular case, it would be the fire engine that we have coming up. All right, the HGAC group is before you, it's a contract. And what we do is we use HGAC along, coupled with the vendor, to do all the procurement documents, which save staff time and the county a lot of money in advertising and major publications. This group purchases equipment on behalf of localities all throughout the United States. And staff asked that the county approve to enter the contract to use their services with, and also allow the county administrator to sign on your behalf.
This is for the fire truck with the ladder?
Yes, sir, fire truck and any other large piece of equipment. Normally we would have to get together and put together the spec documents, bid documents, advertise and do that. And what this group does is they've done this on behalf of other localities.
Was the chief involved in that? The fire chief?
Yes.
Actually building the truck, right?
The chief and his team of members that are on the truck committee are the ones that have decided what specs the truck needs. So
And that's what y'all are doing in the past, right?
Yes, sir.
So you want a company to come in and do it then?
No, sir. What happens is the company handles all the procurement documents with the vendor, the person that's mounting the motors, that's furnishing the fire engine.
Is there a cost associated with it?
It's not a cost directly to the county. The vendor joins the HGAC group also, and if there's any cost, it belongs to the vendor and not to the county, so we don't have to pay for membership. I contacted HVAC buy, and they verified that.
Okay, so it's no cost to the county.
No cost to the county.
Curious, how do they make their money? How do they make their money?
Whatever, they work with the vendor and get money out of the vendor.
Nothing come from the county.
Nothing comes from the county. It's not anything that we have to write them a check or anything.
We're negotiating on prices for the truck, you're saying?
Sir,
This is a negotiation price for the truck.
if HGAC and the vendor negotiate price on behalf of the fire department based on what equipment they need, instead of us having to write a huge, thick spec packet and chance missing a spec, then HGAC works to make sure we get what we want and not anything less, not anything more.
And I really want to see us, as the board, somebody gonna sign off on something we didn't get a chance to see. So whatever takes place, I think the board should see it. When anybody sign off,
What, sign off on,
if you have permission to someone to do more, maybe I misunderstood you. Once you finish what you're doing right here, there's gonna be a price involved, right?
the price for the fire truck.
That's what I'm saying, that's what we do all of this.
That was in the CIP request, and we have to start that process this year because it takes 14 months or, 12, 14 months to build a fire truck. So we're starting the process this year by using HVAC buy to finalize the specs on the fire truck. Right, the actual payment for the fire truck won't fall until next fiscal year, which the board had approved that, understood that when we were in the budget session.
But by going into this contract, they're basically going to send out bids.
Yes, sir.
We still will approve anything before.
Yes, sir.
I think that was some of the questions.
Okay. Yeah.
I would move that we enter into the HGA by contract agreement.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we enter into the HGA city buy contract. All those in favor of the roll call vote?
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Conrad? Ms. Estrada?
Aye.
Mr. Carey?
Aye.
Thank you, Roger.
Please, that next item.
Anything else you need from that?
Thank you, covered it. Item B, under the mottos, is resolution 21-50, 301 South Medium crossover project. Mr. Cody?
Okay, back in 2017, the county applied for FY18 VDOT Smart Scale funds for improvements to Highway 301 South. Those improvements included a median crossover directly across the Carolina Barbecue Building, 2 left-hand turns to serve that crossover, and then relocate the terminus of Old Halifax Road where that will come out adjacent to that proposed crossover. At the time, we received $729,000 in VDOT Smart Scale funds. I gave you a breakdown of the budget. I broke it down into 3 categories VDOT uses. You got preliminary engineering, right-of-way, and construction. Greensville County is responsible for the right-of-way and property acquisition project, which is estimated to cost approximately $150,000. I've been asked by several board members if we could cancel this project. We can cancel the project with VDOT and have them deobligate funds. But VDOT to date has spent $42,720 in preliminary engineering fees. So we would owe that amount to VDOT if we were to cancel the project, deobligate those smart scale funds. So if the board wishes to cancel the project, I've attached resolution 21-50, titled cancellation of project and deallocation of smart scale funds for the 301 South Median project.
And just,
Do you have any questions?
yeah, right, because if we cancel it and pay $42,000, what we gonna do with it, we're looking at $108,000.
Approximately $150,000.
So I don't see why we should put ourselves on the line and $150,000 out of ourselves, at this stage. And matter of fact, come on, park, it ain't even operational.
Correct.
I move we approve resolution 21-50.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 21-50. All those in favor will roll call vote.
Mr. Brown? Mr. Conrad? Ms. Aisha? Mr. K?
The next item on your agenda this evening is in regards to a playground area in the Greensville County Office Park. Ms. Hamilton.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Chat is proposing to donate a playground unit for Greensville County Office Park. To give you a small background, Chat is the Community Health Action Team, and I am the county representative on that board. Their mission is to engage our community to make healthier life choices, and their target audience is the elementary children and their caregivers. Through the VFHY, the Virginia Foundation for Healthy Youth, they have been able to obtain a $90,000 grant. Part of that grant was spent on a unit for the city of Emporia, and I'm sure you all have seen that behind their office building. That cost was $11,650. That is what they'd like to do for the county in their office park. The reason they're looking at putting these units is because of the ranking of the obesity rate in Greensville and the city of Emporia. We are near the bottom of the Virginia state. Staff has been working with Martha Burton from the Cradle Planning District and Dr. Susan Elmore from the Division of Community Services for the Developmental of Disability section of the Department of the Behavioral Health and Developmental Services. There is approximately 134 special needs children in the Greensville County City and Emporia area, which includes physical and mental disabilities. The nearest ADA compliant inclusive playground is Staff Hill. The City of Emporia unit, as I have stated before, is non-ADA compliant, nor is the surface ADA compliant. And I did put a photograph in your packet showing the city unit. It shows that wheelchair-bound children cannot access their unit. It has pea gravel for surface. The all-inclusive unit that we are looking at, staff is looking at, from Creative Playthings is completely ADA compliant. A wheelchair-bound child can traverse the entire unit from ground to top level and play with their other children. It's both physically and mentally ADA compliant, so any children with special needs and mental capacity, there are 3 areas that they can go to play in. The surface that the staff is looking at is a poured rubber surface. So that will give a wheelchair-bound child the opportunity to traverse from our parking lot down the sidewalk into the park. The poured rubber surface has a 15 to 20-year lifespan. At the year 8 to 10, depending on the type of use that we get, we need to look at it and evaluate if it needs to be resealed. The binding ingredients will be left here for us to use at that time if needed. This board has a unique opportunity to develop an ADA compliant, all-inclusive playground area for the children of Greensville County. Staff is requesting that you approve your desired location. I offer 2 locations in our park. One is between the county building and D19. The other is the lot right here beside DSS and BEC. The difference being the lot between the county building and D19 is level and would be fairly inexpensive to put down the crushed gravel and lay the board seat rubber forward. This other lot is not compliant. We have no parking space for wheelchair-bound children, so that would be more expensive. But that's up to you, wherever you like to put it, if you even want one. So I'm asking that you approve the desired location, the type of unit, because we can add multiple units to the playground, or we can have the single unit that was in your packet. Also, the surface area, whether you do want the poured rubber, or whether you'd be like the city and just have it pea gravel. And I'm also requesting approval to start researching for additional funding, depending on what you choose to do, as to how much funding we'll need. You saw that in your budget breakdown that I gave you. And that there are multitudes that we could look at. That was just a few. And Mr. Veliky is here if you have any questions as far as the locations.
I would ask you this, because if you're looking for funding from the county for this program,
No, sir, I'm going to be looking for funding outside of the county.
if we don't find it,
I don't see where that would be a problem.
okay. But my position right now is that I think the coordinating out there, I don't see anybody playing behind it. In the city of 40, but I would not like to see them put a playground there right now, because we don't need to attract anybody at this present time. I think it's a good project, but I don't think right now with COVID-19 with kids, we take all the basketball, everything down, because we don't want kids congregating because of COVID-19. I think it's a bad idea at this present time.
I personally feel like by the time the project actually gets put up, COVID might be far behind us. And, you know, you have to follow the research somewhere. And I would really love to see us be able to offer an ADA type playground to our community. Because like you said, the closest one is Southfield. So I would like to at least see us start the process of, you know, getting everything in line so that when COVID is behind us, we can do this project.
I would agree with that. Do you have a recommended option that you want out of the four options you gave?
I would go with the smaller lot with just the one unit with the poured rubber cement, because we already have the parking space. It's a sidewalk there, easily be connected. That would be the least expensive route to go. That would be my recommendation.
How long would it take to install something like this?
A year.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the playground area as presented and go with the recommended option.
And that will be contingent, Mr. Conwell is posing on Ms. Howerton finding the funding that is needed to complete the playground
Yes.
area.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying.
I'll second that motion. Since the motion has been made in second, all those in favor with the proposed playground?
Mr. Brown,
Aye.
Mr. Conwell,
Aye.
Ms. A. Sharp,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Thank you.
The next item on tonight's agenda is a new job description that has been prepared for the senior pretrial probation officer at Southside Community Corrections. Ms. Whitby?
Good evening.
And
In your agenda package, there's a revised job description for Southside Community Corrections Senior Pretrial Probation Officer. We've always had a pretrial probation officer, but now we have a senior. And there's a few changes. The job description will mostly stay the same, except senior would be in the title. At the bottom of the first page, they would actually serve as lead to training the new staff and preparing them for the central job functions. And they would supervise the part-time staff. So they would be the recommended changes for this job description to be incorporated to the personnel manual. Staff is seeking your approval.
This is not creating a new position, it's for one
No.
position we just be.
Yes.
I move we approve the job description as presented.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the new job description as presented. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Conwell?
Aye.
Ms. Ashaw? Mr. King?
Resolution 21-51 is a publication of a notice of intent to adopt a revenue sharing ordinance. Staff is requesting authorization to advertise this notice of intent. The Code of Virginia allows any locality by ordinance to assess a revenue share of up to $1,400 per megawatt on any solar photovoltaic project. The board, by approving this resolution, authorizes the publication of the notice of intent to adopt.
I move we approve resolution 21-51.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve resolution 21-51. All those in favor, roll call vote.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Conwell?
Aye.
Ms. Ashaw? Mr. King?
Abstain.
The very last item on tonight's agenda is a COVID-19 update. Mr. Owens?
I had this thing all set, and she came up, moved it on me, I got moved it back. All right, according to the Virginia Department of Health and Greater Health District, they reported on Friday, October the 2nd, that there were 787 positive cases in Greensville County since they've been keeping the records. And there was also 261 cases in the city of Emporia, bringing our area total to 1,048 cases. All right, and these numbers include the positive cases reported by the Department of Corrections at the Jarrett facility and the long-term care facilities in the city of Emporia. All right, I monitor each week on the number of cases, and last week alone, our cases, we didn't have any from DOC or long-term care. All of our case increase last week came from citizens living out in our communities. So that's something that we continue to monitor on a regular basis. All right. And the Greater Health District is conducting a free COVID-19 test session for citizens aged 5 and older on Thursday, October 8th, 2020. The testing will be at the BPI parking lot located at 105 Oak Street. And that's next to the old National Guard Armory, right up the hill off School Street, right? With our capacity is 60 people, and we encourage that people call the number in Petersburg, which is 804-863-1652, option 1, and pre-register for that test. It makes going through the system a whole lot easier. We can get a person in there, verify everything, and get them tested now there in about a minute and a half now, if they're pre-registered. All right, and I want to remind the public now, this is not a PPE giveaway, this is a test session. So the only thing we'll be doing at this particular site, we'll be testing people that are either symptomatic or think they've been exposed to someone that was symptomatic and had COVID-19. And staff continues to ask citizens to practice social distancing, wear the mask in public, avoid large crowds as much as possible, consolidate shopping trips. Be sure to wash your hands with warm soapy water for 20 seconds or more, or use hand sanitizer when warm soapy water is not available. And I think from the news that we had from the governor's office to the president of the United States in the last 7 to 10 days, nobody is exempt from catching COVID-19. And you can imagine at those senior executive levels at both state and federal government, there were a lot of precautions put in place. And yet COVID still was contracted by our senior leadership officials. Right? So staff just asked that the public be aware of that and continue to do what they need to do to slow the spread and as we go into the fall. Are there any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The last items on this evening's agenda, the staff work programs and staff meeting minutes. Are there any questions for staff regarding that information? If not, staff recommends you adjourn.
I move with adjourn.
I second.
Has been moved and second, and we adjourn, all those in favor, roll call vote.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Conwell?
Aye.
Ms. Astrop? Mr. K?
I'd like to have a motion to go back in the record section of water and sewer.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Conwell?
Aye.
Ms. Astrop? Mr. K?
Subcommittee closed meeting, motion.
I move we approve resolution WS 21-01.
I second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Conwell?
Aye.
Ms. Astrop? Mr. K?
Approval of the agenda,
I move that we approve of the agenda.
Second.
roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Conwell?
Aye.
Ms. Astrop? Mr. K?
Approval of consent agenda,
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Conwell?
Aye.
Ms. Astrop? Mr. K?
No public hearing, item was appointment none, old business none, new business, resolution WS 2102.
Good evening. Attachment E in your agenda packet is resolution WS 21-02. It's regarding the contract award for an automatic meter reading system. In compliance with the Virginia Procurement Act, on December 5th, 2019, the Water and Sewer Authority issued requests for proposals seeking proposals for an automatic meter reading system. 6 proposals were received. Interviews were conducted with 3 of the companies. The interview committee concluded that Core and Main submitted a proposal which would best serve the interests of the Water and Sewer Authority. This project is on the 5-year capital improvements plan. It is a 5-year project. The first year of this project is funded in our FY 2021 budget. So it is accordingly hereby resolved, if you approve this resolution, the proposal submitted by Core and Main will be accepted. The cost of the service rendered by Core and Main in FY 21 will total $163,366. As I said, this is a 5-year project, so there is funding or appropriations that will need to be made in FY 22, 23, 24, and 25. And they are subject to annual appropriations by the Board of Supervisors. If any of the 4 said annual appropriations are not made by the board, then the contract term shall continue in full. Say that the coronavirus hits our community very hard and we're not able to fund it next year, we won't lose the project altogether. We'll be able to just delay it a year and back up appropriations in the next year. The last 4 fiscal years of the contract, the adjusted amounts due to Core and Main, subject to annual appropriations, are $77,153 in FY 2022, $79,355 in FY 23, $81,518 in FY 24, $83,846 in FY 25. So the total contract amount for the 5 years will be $485,238.50. Core and Main shall have the right to negotiate an increase in the contract price for years of 22 through 25. But they're subject to the limitations that the contract cost for any fiscal year shall not increase by a percentage greater than the consumer price index. On October 6, 2020, staff shall notify all offerers of the board's decision to accept the proposal submitted by Core and Main and to award a contract to Core and Main effective October 16, 2020. The Water and Sewer Authority's director or assistant director are authorized to execute on behalf of the Water and Sewer Authority a 5-year contract with Core and Main, which contract shall be drafted by the attorney of the Water and Sewer Authority. If there are no questions, staff requests that you adopt resolution WS 21-02.
When you said, I'm understanding what automatic, so therefore the meters automatically read without.
There are varying levels of automatic meter reading. The one that the staff is recommending is a drive-by system, but it is upgradable. The meters are fully what is called an AMI system. That would be the next level. That's the one where the meters can be read from the office. So in this first phase, that will we'll get the meters installed. They will be smart meters that can be read either through drive-by or read from the office. But in this first phase, we are just doing the drive-by system.
Okay, what's offsetting cost? We're looking at next year $7,000, but is that all county fund, and we got meters, people can, what's gonna have us generate costs for next year?
Generate, to make sure I understand your questions.
Okay, good. If I'm saying FY 22, that's $77,000.
Yes.
Okay, so how we propose to get that $77,000?
Today, we have the plan in our 5-year capital improvements plan, just like this year, sir. It will be through our regular revenues. We don't intend to borrow any money. It will be paid for by our users. Right, our meters that are in the ground now are 15 to 20 years old. They don't last forever. They start to lose accuracy and they have batteries in them. What we use now is a combination of touch read meters where our maintenance workers put a wand on it and automatically reads it, but that means they have to walk to each meter. But what's going on is the batteries are dying in those units, so that's no longer, it's soon we won't be able to read them like that. They'll have to manually read them, which they're doing some of those now that way, and enter them into a computer, and then we bill for it. So part of the way that this will be funded is more accuracy in our meters, because as meters get older, they tend to lose their accuracy and don't record all the water.
So we have to replace all the meters, and then we're gonna contract someone to come read it? Or you say it could be done by the office?
It's done by our maintenance staff. The way it's done now is 2 maintenance workers go out, and it takes them a little over a week. So we take 2 men that need to be working on maintenance projects, and we got to put them in a truck, and they go around and they manually read all these meters or touch read them, which is not a good use of our maintenance force. So the new project, once these meters are installed, then they're installed by our maintenance department. 1 man will ride around in the truck, and the meters will automatically report in and record those readings. There will be a base station that's in the truck, sir, and it will pull each meter. It will say, I'm in the neighborhood, what is your reading? And the reading will report in and give them the reading. So what takes 2 men, probably a week and a half, because we do our initial reading in a week, and then we have to go out and wherever a number wasn't written down right or a usage looks high, we have to do a reread. When this project is completely implemented, Travis Jackson, who heads up most of our meter reading, will drive around in his truck and he will read all of our residential water meters, hopefully in a day or 2. So it's a more efficient use of our maintenance department.
I move that we approve resolution WS 21-206.
I second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Colwell?
Aye.
Ms. Aisha? Aye. Mr. Perry?
Thank you.
Mr. Lane, you got it? Yep. Got work program, got meeting minutes. Next is adjourned.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Colwell? Ms. Aisha? Aye. Mr. King?
Aye.